Okay, so for today's lecture, I kind of want to check in with the pods and just make sure everyone's on track. So predominantly what I want to show first and foremost is, remember, we're going to start transitioning to the tech workshop development. So each pod should be assigned some tool that they're going to do an hour 15-minute presentation on, along with like a coupled workshop. I'm going to go ahead. I created a workshop in Python. I'm not going to walk through that right now, though. What I actually want to do is actually spend our lecture day today where I can meet with each individual pod. And for those pods that I'm not interacting with at that time, I want you to get with your pod, start coordinating, and just doing an assessment of where you're currently at. And then after I've checked in with all the pods in person, I'll go ahead and give you an example of what a workshop might look like based off of something that I pulled from the web apps class. And that'll give you actually access to these resources and whatnot as well. So if you aren't already sitting by your pod, let's take this moment for us to kind of reconfigure so that pods are grouped together and I can actually start doing check-ins.
So after we said our presentation is an hour and 15 minutes, are we having a lecture afterwards?
No, so the idea is there won't be enough time to do a lecture. So effectively, your presentation will be a lecture for that designated hour. We'll have a little bit of preamble before, we'll have a little bit of preamble after, but effectively each pod will be able to give a lecture, a tech lecture towards the class over the course of this semester. So there's 12 pods. So the next effectively 12 lectures then will be dedicated towards you teaching the class about the various collaboration technologies and toolings that we'll make use of for the rest of the semester. There's one reason why we want to try to front load this ASAP so that we can start using these technologies. And then once we're done with these lectures, then we're going to lay out the groundwork for what are going to be the assignments. And we might even do that in the preamble sessions before and after a team goes up so that we can start going to the planning phase of everything so we can move into implementation, actually get some software made before the semester ends.
So should we plan to present?
Yeah, try to do an hour. We'll have an hour and 15 minutes. I'll probably do a preamble of about 10 minutes ahead of time, hand it off over to the pod, and then we'll follow it up with like 5-minute closures or whatnot. So the target has always been kind of an hour for the hour and 15-minute period that we have, which if you look at, I'll show you some examples. If you look at some of the examples, it's very easy to fill up an hour's worth of time when you're first talking about the value proposition of a particular tool or technology, and then going through some of the base cases on it. And again, that's going to be the real value of the workshop. The idea is that you'll be able to kind of highlight the use case over your hour, but then you'll give kind of a hands-on assignment that the rest of the class will have to go ahead and actually follow along and then turn into me. That'll be the other end, the second half of this project. So actually, everyone's going to be engaging in projects 1 and 2 simultaneously. One team will be doing the presenting work, but remember that all the teams are going to be responsible for producing the workload, the workshops that each individual pod produces. And I'll give you an idea of what I conceptually think of that. And I'll actually give you a demo Python workshop and show you kind of what we'll be doing in that workshop in a moment. But I want to actually make sure I talk with everyone this week to make sure everyone's been planning properly. See where everyone's at, kind of do a check-in. Okay, with that said, let's break into pods, and then I'm going to start checking in with individual teams.
May I ask a quick question, or should I wait till you get to my pod?
Sure.
I was just going to say, when it comes to when our pod is doing the live walkthrough, will those dates be assigned, or should we message you a date?
Message me and we'll talk about that. Message me on Discord inside the pods channel.
Okay,
I've already got the first two pods have already, 3 pods have already registered.
okay, perfect.
So the first pod is gonna be IDEs, the second pod is gonna be API design, and the third pod was,
Documentation.
documentation.
Okay, perfect.
And so I'm gonna aggregate all the pods to the pod channels, everyone else can see what slots are taken. That's the other thing, I wanna make sure that we get the slots taken care of in today's lecture as well, so that we can create a calendar. Especially since this gives an opportunity for pods to synchronize. Remember, if it makes sense for you to collaborate with another team, where maybe you want to use some of their files, or if you want to extend off what they work on, since I give a bonus on where the lineup is, if you coordinate to make a sequence of workshops, you'll get bonus on whoever the head is.
Okay,
So even if it's like a 3 pod workshop series, instead of falling at like position 6, you can get credit for like position 4, for instance. We're gonna probably do it workshop after workshop after workshop, because the thing is, we want to learn these technologies ASAP. And so I don't want to dawdle around, but we'll see how we'll play it by ear, but the current expectation is that we'll go through all the workshops very quickly, so that we still have half the semester to build our projects out, but alongside knowing how to use all the tooling to build our projects out.
So I'm the only person here in my group today.
That's okay, I'll just check in with you. As long as we have one representation, then you'll get to be the liaison for your group. Don't feel stressed out. I'm not doing any grading today. I just want to make sure that everyone is on a pathway for success. So that'll make you the biggest stakeholder for your group right now, because you'll be able to make the decisions and let your group know what's happening moving forward. Because I want to try to line up times as well.
So you're just checking in to see like what our plan is?
Yeah, exactly. To see what the state of everything is, and just make sure that there's been motion, kind of get an idea of how you plan to present. And then after I've checked in with everyone, I'll kind of show you some of the ideas that I can share with you on what might make an effective presentation.
I actually don't know anyone in my pod.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't been in contact with any of them. My name's Alex.
This is out. Okay, I'm
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. You know who Anthony?
Yeah, he's not here. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, my name's Alex.
This worked out well. This is why I want to do this today, though. Just make sure that everyone's interfacing and interacting.
I'll come over.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording.